There's perfect pitch and relative pitch, right? We can talk about this real quick. Perfect pitch is something that like Charlie Puth has, for example, where like he can hear a note and just be like, "Oh, that's a C sharp." You know what I mean? And then relative pitch, which is what I have, is if you play a song, like any song, for example, and I'd be able to find what key it's in based on the chords. A minor. You know what
awesome.
I mean?
Wow. Hi guys, welcome to the Mind, Body, and Spirit podcast. I'm your host, Itai Aran, and on this podcast, we discuss ways to develop ourselves in mind, body, and spirit with different guests specializing in different fields from all walks of life. Enjoy. Hi guys, welcome to the Mind, Body, Spirit podcast. I'm joined today by musician, guitarist Omri Zaguri. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
So what I wanted to talk about today was how different musical genres, in specific guitar, affects the brain and our development and in ways that we can improve our health. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. So how did you get into guitar? How did you get into music?
Yeah, so my name is Omri Zaguri, best friend to Itai Aharon, of course. I started playing when I moved to Florida when I was 16 years old. And I did it because I had nothing to do, and I didn't know anybody, and I was kind of sad. And it was actually Nirvana, Kurt Cobain. I remember it was my first influence to play guitar, so I bought an electric guitar, and I've been playing since then, and really delved into, the music theory, and just the beauty of music. I've always loved music, so I gravitated to it naturally, and here we are.
When you say gravitated to it naturally, I have to agree with you because you were a rapper before that, which you don't give yourself enough credit for.
Thank you.
You were always able to pick up pretty much any instrument from my recollection, right? Mm-hmm. So you had a little gift for it, and you've developed it, and you've chosen guitar. Why guitar in particular?
Yeah, so I chose guitar, like I said, because of, the influence Kurt Cobain, and then later John Mayer was a big influence on me as well. But it just seemed like, that cool instrument, rock star.
Yeah.
So I actually used to play piano way back in the day when I was a kid, but guitar just felt good on my hands and could get it under me, and yeah, that's why I chose guitar.
Give us a little demonstration for all the people watching.
Yeah, sure. So it's a John Mayer song. It's called Stop This Train.
Love it. So I'll start talking about the health benefits of different genres of guitar. So we know that classical music aids in recollection, and that's why they teach young children to play piano, where Mozart and Sinatra and all these kind of things are very prevalent. Mm-hmm. And because of that, they are like mandatory in schools, or they were. I'm not sure how the curriculum runs right now, but music was a big part of every high school curriculum due to that fact that they could recollect more, that music has been known to aid in happiness, aiding against depression, all that kind of stuff.
Very true.
So what is your favorite genre of guitar? Do you have one?
My favorite genre right now is emo music. It's like metal kind of music, like bands like Falling in Reverse, Bring Me the Horizon, Pierce the Veil, Avenged Sevenfold. And that's actually very complicated music to play. On a technical level.
Can you play that on acoustic? Can you show us?
Not on acoustic. It's a lot of sweep picking and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But I also, I really love John Mayer. I love blues music. I love jazz music. Mm-hmm. And I naturally gravitated towards blues music early on, and it's still my biggest influence.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So jazz music in particular has been known to release serotonin in the brain and have a calming effect, more of like a neutralizing effect on a lot of sort of anxiety. Mm-hmm. Who would you say is the best jazz guitarist? B.B. King?
Well, he's a blues guitarist.
Doesn't blues originate from jazz, or am I mistaken?
It's the other way around.
Ah, okay.
Because there's blues first and then jazz. So what happened was there really was bebop. Bird is his name. And he originated bebop, which was that really fast kind of music, like as many notes as you can put into like the scale basically in the song, and then it moved on from there But I would say that my favorite, I'd probably be Bird. Honestly, he's
Yeah?
probably my favorite jazz musician. But he played the saxophone, right?
Show us. Do you know any like songs
I
by
don't
him
know
or
I don't know any
any
bebop.
jazz type of riffs that you would like to like demonstrate? I want people to try to have like a visual and a hearing kind of
I
representation.
don't know many jazz licks. I wouldn't say, like, I know more blues jazz kind of fusion licks, right?
Show us.
So
Give
yeah,
us something nice.
sure. So I can play like. So that would be like a fusion of both
Yeah.
because of the certain notes that I'm targeting, like this note, for example.
Yeah.
The major third.
So my guitar teacher just taught me the pentatonic scale and said that like stuff like some like hammer-ons and some
Yeah.
bending and
That's
just
blues.
falling. That's
right
blues,
there.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which is the
That's-
basis
yeah.
of rock guitar, really.
Yeah.
It's the pentatonic scale.
Exactly,
You know,
right?
these rockers just like. It's all from the pentatonic scale and the blues scale too. That's the blue note. So.
there you go. Okay, beautiful. All right. So moving on from that, then they said that sort of well, like I guess what happened after blues in terms of the rock history? What came
Yeah.
after blues?
So specifically with guitar, guitar used to be a background instrument. So it was never seen as like an instrument that you could play at the forefront of a band, which is kind of crazy to think about because today that's like the most important thing, right? Guitar solos, everything like that. So it was big band stuff. Guitar was in the back, and then slowly it became more up like in the front, and there was it went from big band to blues, right?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So then it was blues, and then it was jazz, and then so on and so forth, rock, and there was a big
So
movement.
was
in
like
England.
Elvis Presley like the beginning of rock per se?
Yeah, he definitely was one of the founders of rock, I would say, and he definitely pushed it, right? It became mainstream because of performers like Elvis. And then obviously there was like the Beatles and, you know,
Yeah.
bands that really transformed what the guitar could do.
So we just played a little riff about the blues and jazz a little bit.
Mhm.
So now we transition from the blues to rock, right? Like easy rock, Elvis, right? And then the Beatles. Play
Yeah.
some riffs of like easy rock riffs. I want the viewers to kind of see this transition and this evolution of guitar.
Easy rock riff. It's really bar chords. Right? A minor, G major.
So studies found on WebMD and Google Scholar show that pop, easy rock, melodic melodies actually release endorphins in the brain and give us that like excitement and feeling good. That's why you'll have sometimes those goosebumps when you listen to music. People that are very musically inclined will have shivers when they hear like a really good riff on a guitar, right?
Yeah, the stank face.
Yeah, and that apparently originated with easy rock stuff like that, right?
Okay.
But then Hendrix,
Mm.
it went into that. So what did it go? What do you call it?
Yeah.
Medium rock, hard rock. Where does it go from easy rock?
Yeah. So Hendrix really, he revolutionized how we play guitar, and I can actually break this down a little bit for you. So we'll do it on an A major chord. So really chords were open chords. People play A major like this, right? And there was the bar chord, A major as well. People play like this. But this is actually very limiting. You have all your fingers doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You can't do anything else with your fretting hand.
Yeah.
So Hendrix would play an A major chord like this. It's the exact same chord, but now I can do stuff. I can hammer on, stuff like that. So a lot of his music is like, and then double stops where that double stop is two notes at the same time. So you
Yeah.
go, and then back to like. He would do a lot of stuff like that.
Can you do me a favor? Can you play Purple Haze or Hey Joe? Those were my favorites.
Purple Haze is like. Then it's like. Yeah, that's what it
Do you
was.
know the solo from Hey Joe? Do you know how to play that
I
one?
don't. I used to memorize a lot of songs, how to play them. But over the years, I stopped memorizing songs.
And you started going on your own way, which most guitarists tend to do. Same.
Exactly. Just soloing the stuff, and whatever I learned from a solo, I take it into my own playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You take the knowledge, you utilize it, and you go from there.
Exactly.
So after the, I don't even know what to call it, mid-rock age of the 70s and 80s, there was the metal age. And what studies have found about metal music is it actually increases self-identity, individualization, a feeling of confidence in those that listen to it. So like, I remember listening to, I don't know if I still remember how to play it, but the Trooper by Iron Maiden, it was like, I don't even remember. Something like that. It was very, but it's not the same on an acoustic, right? You need an electric guitar for, right?
But you can play some.
Yeah, do you remember the Trooper?
I remember it.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Crazy Train.
Yeah. Oh no, that's Ozzy. Yeah. The
So,
Trooper was by
also,
Iron Maiden.
you know what metal music they found too in studies as well?
Yeah.
I just know it's on the top of my head.
Yeah.
It increases production. So they put an ant colony
Yeah.
into like, they're doing studies on it. One was like jazz music or whatever, no music, and the one that they put the metal music on, they increased the production.
Exactly, right?
Ants went to work.
I know. And it was in that culture of anger and you know, and all that going on, and metal originated from that.
Yeah. Some great guitarists, by the way.
Oh,
that,
amazing.
Ozzy had. Like Randy Rhoads, one of the best guitarists.
What was the other one? He did
ever
Michael
existed.
Jackson Beat It.
That's Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, he was known for that.
He created that whole genre of tapping.
Yeah. And then actually it transitioned a little bit from that angry metal to more of like a power metal, like Dragon Force and all those guys,
Dragon
right?
Force, Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold, all that kind of stuff. Do you know any of them? Like
I just
Buried
know
Alive?
So hard to play on acoustic though.
Yeah.
It's really hard to play on acoustic. But they're also all drop D.
Yeah. So they actually noticed that when a guitarist was trained in all these different genres, which is really fascinating to me, is that they had more frontal lobe development. And that's the decision-making part of the brain, right? So it stands to show that making these decisions on how you're going to play, what you're going to utilize, from which genre, from which scale, and mixing your own vibes into it has actually made greater decision makers in society.
I think that that's very true, especially if you're up on stage, and you're improvising, right? So it's taking the knowledge that you know. Same as like we could even relate it to rap, right? When you freestyle, you just get into this flow state, right? Where all the knowledge that you have is in the back of your head, and just based off the feel, you make those decisions, right? So I could see definitely how improvising, putting yourself out there, increases your decision-making skills for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. But it's actually the guitar itself. It's learning these different things, which increases episodic memory for sure, because you have emotional context.
True, you
right?
recollect
how
that
do we
sound
remember
with
things?
that memory.
We have better memory when we have emotional responses connected to those memories, right?
True.
So if I go and I'm gonna just do my usual thing, get up, have a protein shake, go for a run, do a workout, come home, but I've been doing that for years on end, it's not gonna stick in my memory. It's just another day, right? But music has the potential of eliciting emotions, right? Better than just conversation and such, right? So it's literally learning how to play your favorite song, learning how to do that, and you tie emotions to it, and you increase your ability to remember things, right?
Well, I think this is the song in the summer right here that's going to make a lot of memories. I'm
see.
sure you've heard it. It's that last night we let the liquor talk. That Morgan Wallen song? It's everywhere, bro. Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Okay, so what was your hardest thing to learn about the guitar? What was holding you back for a while in terms of developing your ability?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing, because it's very easy to pick up a guitar and learn how to play like sing-song songs, right? Sing-song songs, that's what I call it. It's like, by the way, in pop music currently, these 4 chords make up like every single song that you could possibly think of, because they like to stay safe, right? But back in the days, bands like Steely Dan, they were revolutionizing music, which you would hear. And honestly, I gravitate more towards that kind of music because it catches your ear. You're like, oh, where is this going, right? But everything is so safe in modern music that it's not very interesting. It's taking those chances that catches your ear. how are we gonna get back to home, right? Back to the one chord. That's what catches my ear. I really like fusion music, by the way. I just want to shout out Guthrie Govan real quick. Love fusion music because, once again, it's very interesting. But back to your question, the hardest part about guitar is after you've done all this, you learn your songs, whatever, you know what I mean? The actual theory behind it, learning. You got your pentatonic, but it's not enough, right?
You answered my question really well in terms of like the guitar, but then you went on your own
I know.
tangent, and I like that actually because I want to ask you something else.
Mhm.
When you listen to music, we all listen to music and we hear a nice beat and we bob our head. Do you
Right.
hear it? Do you hear chords? Do you
I
hear
do, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so, and it took a while too. Like, a good example of it is tuning a guitar, right? So when you tune a guitar, I'd always tune it with a tuner. But when you get that note, E, this is the note that I remember the most, how this note sounds like, because once I have this note, you can tune the rest of the notes of the guitar based off of that note. So over time, I would hear a song, I don't know what's going on in the song, right? But then as I kept playing, my ear would get used to how many times I've played a G chord already, that when it's in a song, I hear the G, I'm like, oh, that's a G chord.
Yeah.
Another thing, too, there's perfect pitch and relative pitch, right? We can talk about this real quick. Perfect pitch is something that, like, Charlie Puth has, for example, where, like, he can hear a note and just be like, oh, that's a C sharp. You know what I mean? And then relative pitch, which is what I have, is if you play a song, like any song, for example, and I'd be able to find what key it's in based on the chords. A minor. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
very
and that's what
talented.
relative pitch is. You hear a song, but you need the instrument in your hand, and then you can like, oh, it's not that note, but it sounds like it's down. Oh, it's here. You know what I mean?
So what would be your advice to aspiring guitarists that are just starting to learn
Yeah.
and that you think would help them build a very solid foundation?
Yeah. So I'm actually self-taught.
Impressive.
I didn't go to a guitar teacher or anything like that, unless you want to call my guitar teacher Marty from YouTube. So it's just a bunch of YouTube videos is where I learned. And I would say the most important thing for a guitarist is to stay knowledge hungry. Because a lot of the times, including myself, you'll get to a certain level and then you don't want to keep practicing and moving on to the next level because you're just like, I just want jam. You know what I mean? And you get stuck doing that. You never progress and evolve because once you get into music theory, it's so much more vast than you could ever imagine that it is. Little nuances that you could put on a chord open up so many more possibilities. Like if I play, for example, like an A major chord, right? That's just straight A major, right? But what if I made it interesting, right? What if I made it a major 7 chord? Oh, okay, all of a sudden that opens up a whole new set of notes that I can play. It's a whole different scale now versus just the major scale. And there's all these different nuances that you can put. So guitar and music theory in itself is actually very complex, and it's very easy to learn the basics of it and then get comfortable with that and not expand your horizons.
And how did you overcome that roadblock?
I am in that roadblock. Oh yeah, especially since it's a hobby for me, right? If it was a career path or something that I was doing solely, right, my focus is on that, then I would constantly be improving. But with work, going to the gym, you don't really have much time for your hobbies anymore like you used to. So I would say start young and stay knowledge hungry. Don't get comfortable with the skills that you have. That's what I would say.
I love it. Okay, so just touching again on all the development for the brain. So music has been known to increase episodic memories because of the emotional ties to it. It's been known to release serotonin and dopamine in the brain, and it has been known to actually develop the frontal lobe in decision making. So all these things come with music and playing an instrument. But you said you played piano a little bit when you were younger, right? What's the difference between that? Tell us the process. Is there a big difference?
Yeah, I would say that there is for sure.
Tell us about it.
Piano is actually a more expressive instrument, I would say, because you can really play everything on the piano. Where a guitar, you're kind of stuck in the mechanics of the way that the guitar is built, right? Where a piano, you have access to all the notes, wherever you want to play it, and it's just straight. It's not like this and then this and then this note is this note because of the way that the guitar, you know what I mean? So mechanically, the guitar is kind of actually set up shit. You know what I mean? But the piano isn't. And I remember I was actually going to a teacher that lived in my neighborhood. And the whole reason I went is because my goal was to play Fair Elise at the school like talent show. So that was like, and she was like teaching me like other stuff. I was like, no, I just want to da 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 da. You know what I mean? And like I just don't do well with teachers for music because I like quit. And I remember when I was younger, I went to a guitar teacher. And I was like, this is boring. He's just teaching me the C major chord like for 3 months. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. So that's why I just self-taught. But I'd say piano's more expressive.
So do you believe that your talent was? So would you recommend that to others, or do you think that's more of a self kind of thing? Like you felt that your talent overshadowed the teaching methods that they were setting you at?
Yeah. First of all, you got to pick whatever instrument that you gravitate towards, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever you think is the coolest instrument, that's what you got to play. And it's all about just fun. It's about having fun at the end of the day. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to stick with it in anything in life, right? You got to do what you love.
100%.
So I would say that teaching yourself is a good tool because you're the one doing it, right? You're the one putting in the work because you want to learn it.
You know, it's actually it's fascinating now because we've been doing this show for a little bit now, and I've spoken to bodybuilders and different athletes and different trainers, and everyone touches on the passion aspect, right? And it just seems that it supersedes all human activities. That the passion itself is just what drives everybody, and it's a release for everyone in different ways, right?
I mean, think about people that went off to war, right? Even like nowadays, back in the day, right? They're willing to die for their passion, for their beliefs.
Yeah.
A human can't get to that point without that passion. They'd be like, no, I'm staying home. Like, wait, you go to the war.
I've actually read, I'm in the midst of reading Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Okay.
And he talks about how human beings can survive anyhow as long as we have a why. And a why is 3 prongs. Someone to love, something to love, and spirituality tied in through all that, where he ties it all in together.
I agree with that. 100%.
There you go.
100%.
100%. Okay. So, I guess the last thing I want to touch on is you're also a rapper. And you love to sing too. Mm-hmm. So, tell me, so we separated instruments in terms of a pianist with all the notes available to him, a guitar, how it's limited by its structure, but it has a lot of capability. Mm-hmm. So now tell me, how does singing and rap?
Singing is really hard, right? I am not a good singer by any means. Rapping is all about, for me at least, right, because there's different genres. It was about lyricism, right? How can I tell a story? How can I make this rhyme interesting? How can I use this word? So it was a lot about that. And that was really my first passion with music, I'd say, was rapping.
Oh, I remember. You still remember how to do it?
Oh, yeah. I could drop a rap.
You should drop a rap right now. You can do the guitar with it.
I don't know about the guitar with it. I'll give you a few lines quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
My shallow style, the proud, precisely kick you in the abdomen and make your bowels hurl up all them vowels. The versatile with the style, I'm dropping bombs like Nagasaki. You quick to copy, but you spit it sloppy. Think you're cocky, but you're not me. Your monotony keeps them sitting like an assistant. I'll stop it there, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that was all about lyricism, and I would literally read the dictionary. I was in Florida at the time. That's when my rap really got to the next level with my friend Andres. Shout out Andres. So me and him, we were in English class, and one of the part of English class was like learning these big words. You know what I mean? Like abdicate, malevolence, whatever. You know, whatever the word is. And I'm like, damn, I like that word. How am I gonna incorporate that into my rap? You know what I mean? That's what I loved about rap, lyricism. Songwriting also is a lot about lyricism. So John Mayer songs, for example, he really tells a story but it's like on a basic level. It's not complex like a rap. You know what I mean? He's not using these crazy words, but you really feel something after. Like I've cried to some John Mayer songs, man. You know what I mean? Like shit.
That's true. And you know music in such a vast sort of way that when you see a simplicity, but also like an amazing style with the music tied in together with the lyricism, with the guitar, with the background, with everything tied together, you can attest to what is truly
sometimes
beautiful.
I'll just hear a song, I'm like, damn, that is just a good song, like structured perfectly.
And that's an amazing skill that everyone should try and develop. Even if you're not a crazy musician, you should try and develop your musical sense to a certain degree, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I do 100%. Like if I have a kid, the first thing is in the womb, he's listening to music. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's finish with us jamming a little bit. What do you say?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Is there any song in particular that you want me to play?
You pick, and I'll do my best to come along with you.
Let me think here. Okay, we'll do like a blues.
Okay.
Take it away, Ty.
All right, all you, man. Finish it off. It's
All right.
Stop This Train.
You know what? Let's finish off with a sing song. Here we go.
All right. All you.
How does the beginning of the song go? It's a long. We're gonna do Free Fallin'.
All right, you go.
It's a long.
Guys, Omri, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It was
no
a pleasure.
worries, man. No worries. This was honestly an amazing episode. I hope everyone watching learned a lot, learned the importance of music, and we'll see you next time.
Play your goddamn instruments.
Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the like button down below and hit subscribe to see more videos like this one. Take care.